He went to Africa.
He made 5 tours in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I was up there at Abilene visiting, and we was drinking a little beer, and he had this set of, they were mahogany wood, little men about that high. He had a whole set of them, about 15 of them, that he got in Africa. And each one of them, he got them from some tribe over there. And each one of them was symbolic of something. And one to be sitting like this, one like that. Different poses. We was drinking beer, and I was telling them what each pose. One of them looked like he was training on the stool. Anyway, when I got back home from San Angelo, I opened my luggage up, and he'd put one of them in there. And so we'd planned this Arrowhead hunt. And in a big cave, it's called the Fate Bell Shelter down in Seminole Canyon, not far from the Rio Grande.
On this guy's ranch that
That's a story in itself. There was a guy there named Brotherton that owned this big, huge ranch. And what I would do, I'd love to hunt arrowhead. I would find places where creeks and rivers run together. It's always an Indian camp. And I'd get the permission from the landowners to
go walk around looking.
So I heard about this cave. So I got one of the guys to find out who owned it. And the rancher's name was Brotherton. And I said, I'm going to go ask him if I can go down that cave. And they said, man, if you stick a foot through his barbed wire fence, we'll shoot it off. They said he's a little...
No.
And I said, well, he can't eat me. I'm going to go down there. So anyway, I drove up there, and he lived in an adobe house. And tallest guy you ever saw. He had on high boots and a high crown hat. I had to look at him. And he had a funny look in his eye. And I explained to him that I'd like to go down there and look in this cave. And he wouldn't answer. He just looked off. Finally, he said, I let people go on this place, and they rock my sheep off of their water hose and don't close my gate. And I said, and he said, do you know what'll happen to a sheep if you rock him off a water hose?
Well, his wife.
I said, I don't know anything about sheep. And he said, they'll stand out there and die before they'll come back to that water hose. I said, well, I don't know anything about that. But if you let me come on there, I said, I'll close your gates and I won't leave any trash. You'll never know I've been there. He thought a long time, and he said, I don't want you coming in here unless I know you're there. And I said, well, if I come up here and you're not home, I'll leave a note on your door that I'm down there. That's fine. I never saw the man again. I bet I went down there 15 times. I'd always leave a card on there.
Nope.
Yeah, note. Anyway, I started taking some of my friends in there, this bunch from Ozone. And we were down there. That was before they built that big dam. There was a lake there called Lake Walt that had a nice tourist tour. About 15 of us went down there to fish, and I wanted to go over to that cave. So 7, 8 of us went over there. And it's a huge cave, pictographs up in there.
Really?
And all kinds of interesting stuff. They have a museum there now to take you on tours of that place.
Oh, wow.
The old man must have left it to the state. But anyway, I thought I'd have a little fun out of it. So I took this little idol with me. And of course, in that cave, you have to wear a mask because it's just like powder.
So dry.
You start digging in it, it just floats up.
And tell them,
even the mask, you get a lot of it in your mouth.
tell them how you hunt arrowheads in that type of.
You dig.
You dig, and then you put it up on a what?
You have a screen there, and you shove it on the screen.
And you throw it on the screen, and you shake the screen, and arrowheads.
And you shake all the dust and stuff out of it.
And arrowheads might show up.
And we had a ice chest full of beer and stuff there.
Now, wasn't the sheriff with you?
Oh, yeah.
Tell them who's with you. Who's in the crowd?
Grandpa with us?
No, listen.
There were two brothers that were ranchers.
Yeah.
And the sheriff was there.
Of the county.
Yeah, and the game warden was there. And a bunch from the DPS.
Oh, friends of yours.
Yeah, friends of mine.
They love the
arrowhead hunt. Well, you shovel up this stuff and throw it on the screen, so everybody had a hole digging. I took that idol out. This was in the wintertime. I had on a big coat. I buried it way down in there and covered it up.
An idol. It was just a
Where that silt could get all in there. I grinded it down in there. And in a little bit, they all gathered around the ice chest drinking a beer.
Yeah.
And I was digging.
Yeah.
Well, I shoveled that plate up and threw it on the screen. This old Skin Eye. These two brothers reminded me of my family. Every one of them had nicknames. These two were Skin Eye and Mustard. Skin Eye beat me to the idol. He said, "Looky there." Buddy, they went to passing that thing around. And this place is real high up, and there's a dry creek down there. A couple of them was down there. There's a little water hole down there. This one went running over to the edge, and he hollered down there, "Come up here! Al has found a gold mine!" Boy, they gathered around there. And if it wasn't for that mask, I was laughing. And they were oohing and ahhing. Finally, the old sheriff, old Billy Mills, he got it, and he said, "You reckon an Indian carved this thing?" And Skin Eye, who was kind of an authority on artifacts, he said, "Well, you dumb man, who do you think carved it?" He got reminded of that a lot of times. So we dug some more, and they went to moving the dirt. Finally, at another break there, Skin Eye got real serious.
The rancher.
Yeah, he said, "Al, what are you going to do with that idol?" His lips are quivering. I could tell he really was. I said, "I'm going to take it down to Austin and see what the Archaeological Society will tell me about it, and then I'm just going to sit it on the mantle at home, I guess." I said, "You want that damn thing?"
Oh, God.
Billy Mills jumped in. "Wait a minute now. Wait a minute." He wanted it. He said, "I want my daddy to see that." His daddy was a big hunter. And finally I said, "Boys, before you go to get the shovel fight here, I want to tell you about this." They didn't want to believe it. "Oh, you're lying." I said, "No, I'm not lying. That's from Africa." So the guys that weren't there, they said, "Let's don't tell anybody. Let's have some fun out of that bunch." And this one old sergeant from Sweetwater, Highway Patrol sergeant, he was a very skeptical. He thought we was silly to go out and dig for rocks. You know, he called it.
Y'all gonna get him.
When he saw that, he went crazy. One of the guys said, "Al, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you 100 perfect arrowheads for that idol." I said, "That sounds like a pretty good Old Billy said, "Don't do it, you crazy." I said, "That baby was a fart."
So like a scrimshaw piece?
Yeah. What was funny, when I got home,
To San Angelo, back
yeah,
home,
when I got back to San Angelo, Dina said,
his wife.
Dina said, "Call Frank Perkins up. He's called me a dozen times about you making a great find down there in that cave. He wasn't there. He just heard about it.
Already.
And he said,
Get
I
you home.
call him. He's driving me crazy."
Yeah.
So somebody had made a long distance call.
She said, "Did you bury it?" Dina said, "Did you bury that idol?"
She knew.
Somebody got all excited from nothing.
So I called Frank
That's
up.
cruel.
He said, "Can I come over and look at it?" And I said, "Come on." Well, he got so excited, he got to whispering. "Lieutenant, there's no telling what this thing's worth." He said,
That's just plain cruel,
he
man.
said, my neighbor,
I like it.
he said, my neighbor's artifact nut. He said, "You mind if I take it and show it to him?" I said, "If you'll bring it to the office in the morning." And I said, "Frank, keep this under your hat. If it gets out,"
Yeah.
I said, "that rancher may claim it.
Yeah.
Or at the worst, every arrowhead hunter in the country will be
over there.
pointed down there at his place." And I said, "Don't tell nobody about this, and you tell your friend not to tell anybody." When I walked in the office the next morning, the secretary said, "The reporter from the news wants to talk to you." I said, "About what?"
Got in.
That thing you found. He said.
Oh, gosh.
And old Frank was back there.
Yeah.
I called him in there.
Come on, Frank.
Is that Barney Fife?
Yeah.
I said, "You go get that reporter off my ass right now." And I never did tell him to phone him Frank. I said, "You get him off that. We're not going to put nothing in the paper." He found out way later than what I
And you remind
But the follow-up on it, old Skin Eye, he was a big goat rancher.
Yeah.
And his wife was quite a character. The next year when I was going down there, I went hunted with this same guy.
Yeah.
We hunted together for 40-some-odd years. But anyway, Dina put a little red ribbon around that idol's neck, and I told her, I said, "I want to give old Skin Eye this, because he caught hell about you ignorant."
You could have been a goat rancher.
Yeah.
We were at Skin Eye's den there, and I looked up on the mantle and that,
Idol.
and I said, "Well, there's an old idol, Skin Eye." And they had to remind him what he said about it. And I said, "You know, if I wasn't a pretty honest fella, I'd be a goat rancher today." I said, "You'd have swapped this ranch that now." And his wife said he'd thrown me in on the deal.
Oh, my God. You did a great story. My God. That is great.
So you created a lot of skeptical people after that.
Yeah.
That is a great story.
Yeah.